It's the third lap in the Prinx Tires USL Cup, and somewhere in Middle America, it's a first-time meeting between Union Omaha and Fort Wayne FC. This match is presented by Centris. Welcome one and all to the broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster. Happy to be with you here on ESPN Plus as two teams with exciting ball-centric style go at it here at Morrison Stadium in Nebraska. Here's a look at where they both stand in Group 4 in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Fort Wayne really outside of the conversation now as far as aspirations of advancing this competition. Meanwhile, Union Omaha still within the mix. They'll be gunning for all 3 points in this game and trying to keep their hopes of advancing alive. Of course, Blue City sitting at the top of the group put a bit of a gash in their hopes last time out when they met in the second round of this competition. The Owls were able to best Indy 11 in their first go and help reinforce the idea that they're a popular choice to be a Cinderella USL League One team in this competition. But Blue City, really the class of USL Championship over the past few years, demonstrated why in this game against the Owls. A 5-1 drubbing of the Owls. Really one of the only times that they've looked mortal this season across competitions. And so they now have to go into this game with a very aggressive approach, and our player to watch is presented by Rotisserie Urban Bistro and Dolomiti. Sergio Ors Navarro, they're hunting for goals in this game on top of 3 points to help with the tiebreakers that could potentially roll up at the end of the group stage. He can provide them, he can finish them. They'll be looking to get him involved in all facets of the attacking portions of this game should they get the result they're hoping for. Meanwhile, on the Fort Wayne side of things, this is a team that last time out started a new rivalry against Indy 11, and it was productive in many ways. First off, a dramatic game that helped birth the new rivalry in an appropriate sense. A 2-2 draw with a late game stunner from Jack Thomas was great for confidence for this Fort Wayne side, but what it wasn't great for was this competition, because they only gained 1 point from the competition, from the match, because they lost in penalties. So they will now be approaching this game against Union Omaha with a different lens, which is that it's a chance to rotate players, give some guys rest, and give some guys like Daniel Oyotunde the chance to step up and prove themselves, try to maybe get some more minutes in the regular season. He's a young player from the Arsenal Academy, and they'll be hoping that he can produce something on the attacking side and maybe spoil some of the hopes for Union Omaha this evening. For one side tonight, it's more of a pit stop to reload for the long season. For the hosts, it's time to slam the gas and go for goals. Omaha and Fort Wayne's first 90 minutes are up next on ESPN Plus.
What has cancer taught me?
The sky is pink at sunrise.
Brave does not mean stoic.
Friends will fill your freezer.
And that I have the academic specialists,
the clinical trial options,
the level of personalized care.
I couldn't have gotten anywhere else.
Nebraska Medicine Fred and Pamela Buffett Cancer Center.
Because at the end of the day, I want the best chance to be here for tomorrow.
Mi nombre es Josué Aaron Gómez y soy del Paso, Texas. Creo que significaría mucho para mí, para mi futuro. Creo que al terminar mi carrera futbolística, creo que poder implementar lo que voy a aprender en la escuela, creo que eso va a ser muy importante para mí y para mi futuro.
Prinx Tires is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Built for practical performance and the long haul, Prinx delivers reliability for everyday drivers like you. Visit PrinxTireUSA.com to learn more. Let's take a look at our starting lineups here. First off for the hosts, no punches are withheld here for Vincenzo Candella's side. The big question every single game is who's going to start between the sticks, and tonight it's Cole Jensen who will be stepping in. Rashid Nuhu will be on the bench. But every single game, you don't really know who's going to be in that spot. They like both goalkeepers, so really isn't a clear number one situation. Meanwhile, for Fort Wayne, Reed Sproat wearing the captain's armband and continuing to extend his record of most appearances with the Fort Wayne shirt on, and today is the milestone 60th appearance for the center back. He'll be looking to guard in front of Ari Briscoe, who will be between the sticks today, stepping in for Bernd Shipman, who has had the large bulk of starts this season. But we are ready for kickoff here from Morrison Stadium. Gerald Flores, our head official. Union Omaha in the black. It's the autumn gold for Fort Wayne. And we are off and running here in the third round of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. It's the first ever meeting between Union Omaha and Fort Wayne. Once again, my name is Mark Schoenstert. Looking forward to seeing how this one unfurls. Union Omaha still in the mix, but certainly not in an advantageous position in the group. Meanwhile, Fort Wayne, safe to say, their hopes for advancing this competition have all but vanished. So instead, this is a chance to see exactly what some of these players on the bench who haven't gotten the minutes they maybe were hoping for this season can do against a quality Union Omaha side who are currently sitting up top in the USL League One standings. So definitely some rotation on their end of things. Meanwhile, Union Omaha with a strong starting 11 in this affair. One thing worth noting, though, both of these teams with not super deep rosters, so although if you're going to talk about rotating, you can't even entirely rotate a roster for a game like this, so no matter what you're going to do, you're going to have some quality players out there on the pitch, and that certainly is the case for Fort Wayne today. And should Omaha find themselves in a position later in the season to be rotating players, they would be in the exact same spot. There's Vincenzo Candela. He believes his side still have a path forward in this cup. I mentioned that teams in the other groups who are leading the way have dropped points, and so they're going to push for a win in this game and try to score some goals as well to help them in the tie-breaking conversation, as Thomas will roll this one over to the left-hand side for Oyatunde. Daniel Oyatunde chipping it up and knocked away. Ryan Jiba on the defensive end of that one. Not only are Union Omaha still believing that they have a chance in this group, but also you can push for that lone second place wildcard spot as well. But even outside of that, their approach to every game is to win and be aggressive. So really, there isn't too much to change in their approach in one game or another, depending on the context of a competition. Going full throttle is the only way they know. Some interesting notes to have about this Fort Wayne lineup on the other side of things. First off, Ryan Betcher making his return to the starting 11 after returning off the bench last game. So he'll be starting up top on a location that Lilian Rico has pretty much had a stranglehold over the entire season, so they'll get some much needed rest. As Patella Faz lays this one forward for Gavilanes. Gavilanes shoots, carried down by Briscoe. Solis able to carry it further out. The Owls will reclaim the ball. Ari Briscoe, a chance to start today. Started in the last cup match against Indy 11 as well. the longtime members of this Fort Wayne team. The handful of carryovers from the USL 2 days. Him and Anthony Hernandez, both getting the start today, are within that pile. So we have a chance to look at the keys to the game, brought to you by Hydra Patch. For Fort Wayne, the conversation is who's hungry? You've got some guys getting in who haven't had a ton of minutes, a ton of starts this season, and so it's a chance for them to prove that they are ready to get minutes in league matches, and perhaps this is the match to showcase that. Meanwhile, for Union Omaha, May was a month of drama, and although they were able to get on the successful side of a lot of things in those matches, they were in losing position in 3 different games that they ended up winning last month. And although you love the character demonstrated and the iron nerves to be able to come back from those situations, Vincenzo Candela said, I mean, I'd prefer to have those games put away a little bit earlier and to not be put in those spots. In a game like this, when Fort Wayne is rotating and not having, and some would say, their best foot forward in this game, you as a side, you're still pushing for a result. Want to stamp your boot on this game, and you prefer to do it earlier. Jaden Smith starting at right back today. Called for the foul. He'll have a talkie to from Gerald Flores. So our keys in this one, much more about the mentality than any particular tactic. Though of course there will be tons of pondering about the particular movements and the approaches of these two teams. Both sides very careful and very clear in what they want to do as teams on a given game day. Service swung in by Cabral, excuse me. Briscoe will claim it. Briscoe, one of those guys that's getting a chance to be rewarded for the hard work he's been putting in training. Sitting behind Brent Shipman this season, who has been fantastic for Fort Wayne, by the way. So makes it even harder for a backup keeper to step in and get a chance to play. But it's a two-sided benefit this game for Fort Wayne. Mike Avery mentioning that obviously you get to reward players for hard work, but also give particular players much needed rest. Guys like Michael Rempel, Tay Keeley, Lilian Recall, who have been putting in the shifts this season. Thiago Dias, another one. And then also, on the other end of things, when you give some of these players who have not played as much this season, it's productive because they may need to rely on these guys down the final stretch. Obviously, you don't want to have an injury or you don't want to have anything come up that keeps one of your players that has been starting from playing, but whatever the context may be, if one of these guys who have gotten less minutes needs to have their name called in a big moment, they need to be ready and they need to have the experience. And a game in Union Omaha is perfect for learning, as Oya Tunde has it gashed away from him. Samuel Owusu with a nice challenge. It's a tough environment, a tough team. A team that has been pretty good about themselves in recent stretches. Ever since that Blue City loss. Pretty good for Union Omaha. Thomas launching it into the 18. Cleared out once again for another throw. The Owls a bit sluggish in their first match. Or not in their first match, in their last match against FC Naples. First 15 or so minutes. It's not up to speed as this one's chopped around. Garay will pick it up. Intervention kept that from being launched into the penalty area. And not on the same page there. Borzak hopping after the ball was played forward. He did not make the run. FC Naples, that game It's another example of them conceding in the first half and then having to come back and win it in the second. As Oyatunde moves it forward once again for Fort Wayne. Nieto. Anthony Hernandez getting the start on the left back spot. First time this season we've seen someone not named Michael Rempel playing in that position for Fort Wayne. Hernandez, by the way, turning 23 tomorrow, so nice birthday weekend on the road. Jaden Smith on the touch line. He's knocked away from him by Ryan Jiba. We're going to say it touched Jaden Smith last, so it'll be a goal kick for the Owls. Fans, enter the Prinx Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on screen. Enter today. Get yourself some goodies. Solis. Lifting that one back up the pitch. Borzak settles it down. Brought down by Nieto. It'll be a free kick for the Owls. Funny thing about that game against Naples, Vincenzo Candela mentioned the moment they actually started to take control of the game was when they got caught and they conceded. But after they conceded, they were more aggressive out of possession, more engaged on the outlets that FC Naples was looking for. They were able to pin them in their own half and be relentless. All about their principles in possession, which is something both of these teams like to have and like to work with. Two teams that really play ball. Ors Navarro jumping in that passing lane. Sergio Ors Navarro rolls it to Gavilanes. Tap back to him. Good challenge from the ground from Sproat. Now Jack Thomas will roll it back. Getting the chance to play as a 10 today as opposed to out the wing. It's something that he's capable of doing, but well, Take Healy's been playing so well recently that he hasn't had the opportunity to fill into that spot too frequently. Today's the day, though, he gets that chance. Jiba. Gives it over to Borzak. Gavilanes in the middle. Gomez stepping forward, our own Gomez. Intervened by Jaden Smith. Now Botello Foz. Jaden Smith once again. And now he can gallop forward. He's a guy who can carry the ball forward, but he'll roll it back, play it safe. Solis. Over to Sproat. Dylan Borzak out on the turf over here, and Sproat showing some gamesmanship. I love when there's a shared respect between two teams. It's one of those situations where Fort Wayne really are not in any position to generate something offensively. I mean, they're passing it along the back, so you might as well play it out and let the player down, get properly tended to, and everybody else can get some water as well. Bit of a frustrating result last weekend for Fort Wayne, a 0-0 draw with AV Alta, but only frustrating in result because in performance there was a lot to be happy with, a game that Fort Wayne really controlled. Vincenzo Candela checking up on his guy. Looks like he's going to be okay. Talking about that AV Alta game, Mike Avery said that, I mean, another night they could have scored 4 to 5 goals. And he's going to give players like Take Healy and Lilian Rico some grace because they've been banging in scoring opportunities for them as of late. So the fact that They had a bit of an off night finishing. Can't really hang yourself up on that too much. Controlled the game, maybe some nitpicks, but overall, the only real thing that he had to say was that maybe they could be more aggressive once they pin a team back the way they did against AV Alta. But breaking down a block is difficult. It's difficult in USL League One, but it's also difficult even at the highest level. Mike Avery said, I mean, think about that Champions League match that was earlier that day. PSG had the ball for how long in that game and really struggled to find anything against Arsenal. So even at the top of the soccer world, breaking down a good block is difficult to do. And so we can give kudos to AV Alta there as Gavilanes threads it to Patelafaz. Pato Patelafaz slides it home for the Owls. The emphatic start they were looking for. Give it a right hook, then a left jab. Just a moment where Jack Thomas doesn't see Gavilanes lurking. He was waiting for that pass to be made just so that he could intercept. And then he feeds it nicely to Pato Patelafaz, who very calmly rolls it by Briscoe and gives the home side the 1-0 advantage. A guy who likes to put on the boxing gloves. You may have seen before the game started their jersey advertisement, and he was throwing some punches there too. So Pato Patelafaz, the second-year man who was signed in June last year, so now it's been about a year that he's been with the Owls. Throws another goal into the back of the net for his side, and the Owls are on the hunt for another. Sergio Ors Navarro cutting in, blocked away by Solis. That goal brought to you by Herdat Sports Bar and Grill. Pato Patelafaz with his second goal in this competition. And it's the first assist as an Owl for Alan Gavilanes, a man who is not unfamiliar with notching assists with a League One club, having done so previously for several years with the Greenville Triumph, and then making his way up to the USL Championship with Miami FC. Currently on loan with the team from Indy 11. A rival of this Fort Wayne side as Ryan Betcher picks the pocket of Blake Malone. Betcher cutting it across for Thomas. Owusu is there for it. Perhaps reading some tendencies there, Blake Malone. The guy who's played for the Owls for a while as Gavilanes runs the other way. Gavilanes make it 2 for the Owls. Alan Gavilanes doubling the advantage for Union Omaha, and this is the start they were hunting for. They want 3 points, and they want a lot of goals. And in this moment, it's a well-timed run from Gavilanes, just boding his time, waiting for the pass to dart by Reed Sprout. And dart he does. Nice left boot. And that's all she wrote. It is exactly the kind of start that this Owls team was looking for. That goal brought to you by Herdat Sports Bar and Grill. Alan Gavilanes with just as an assist moments ago. Now gets one himself. Another reinforcement of just how tough it is to play here at Morrison Stadium against this Owls team. They have really made this a tough place for teams to come in, find a result. Oyatunde rolling it back. Ball chipped in for Betcher. Not out of the woods yet, Ryan Betcher. And it's cleared away by Owusu. Betcher, who played with Omaha for a little bit last year on loan from St. Louis City. Trying to score against his former team. Now a corner kick for Fort Wayne. Knocked away. Thomas puts it back, go towards goal, but not quite on frame. Thomas's lone goal this season. That belter he had against Indy 11 in round 2. Once again, a chance to play as more of a 10 today as opposed to being one of the 2 wingers in this Fort Wayne system. Lot to be cheering for so far in this one for the Owl faithful. And they're enjoying this game so far. Be on the road for quite a bit after this. The Owls. 3 straight road games. Their next home match won't be till July. Jiba pulls it forward. Zach. Pato Botello Foz. Wide to the right-hand side for Sergio Ors Navarro. Ors Navarro trying to send it into the middle. Knocked away. Ball will poke it back over to the right-hand side for Lawrence. Gavilanes. Owusu will roll over to his right-hand side. Not a bad ball from Jensen. Ors Navarro turns, lays it back for Gomez, and it rolls wide. Another good bit of build-up there from Union Omaha. Cole Jensen facilitating that ball over the top. Not out of play. Fans turn on the CBS Sports Network on Wednesday, June 10th for a USL Eastern Conference Championship clash under the lights. Tampa Bay Rowdies defend their home turf against battle-tested Charleston Battery at 7 p.m. Eastern. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network June 10th. Two goals in the span of about 3 minutes. So Union Omaha have given them the 2-0 lead here. The other ones in this game have more to play for results-wise. They're still within the conversation. Points here, but they want to help their tie-breaking chances by notching in a bunch of goals, and well, 2 goals in the first 25 minutes is a great start in that regard. In this game they've had just 3 goals scored. Now they've put themselves up to 5. As far as this matchup is concerned, though, against Fort Wayne, Vincenzo Candela talked about his opposition, said that they want to build through teams and play some ball, which is a great test for us. Mentioned that there are some similarities in the principles these two teams have. So look, we're going to get asked questions, and we've got to be prepared. Organization in the press. One key, and he's open to hold more of the ball and put Fort Wayne in some uncomfortable situations, though. The visitors have had a bit of the possession in this game. Gaffar crossing it in. Punched out of danger by Jensen for a corner kick. Kabiru Gaffar getting another start here. He's a guy who had the chance to prove himself in league play and is earning himself more and more opportunities to play. This game here tonight, just another example of that. Gaffar making his way inside. A tempting ball. Betcher is crashing towards it, but Cole Jensen able to claim. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL League One. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. So both teams are going to go over to their touch lines. As looks like it's Borzak once again getting tended to here. Dylan Borzak, whom still looking for his first goal in league play, but he does have a goal in this competition along with a goal in the Open Cup. Going over on that left wing side for this Owls team. After sitting on his knee, he's going to go all the way down to the turf. Dylan Borzak is already the second time he's had to get checked on here in this game, so we'll see if he'll play on or if Vincenzo Candela is going to have to make an early substitution. I have a couple options for Borzak coming off the bench to take his place. Either go with the likes of Gutierrez, who would be a like-for-like change, or you can even bring in another one of those midfielders and Gavilanes can slide out wide. This is a Union Omaha team that Mike Avery described as fun to watch when you aren't preparing for them. I'm sure it caused a lot more headaches when you realize that you're going to have to deal with and figure out how to stop a team that has been very tough to stop this season. It was complimentary of their rotations and when they shift and when they overload, how do you handle it? You've got to have those answers. And on top of that, they're even better at home. So it's a situation where they're excited to be tested Fort Wayne against this Union Omaha team. Borzak will see his evening come to an end. And stepping on is Diego Gutierrez, so there will be a straight-up swap here. That substitution brought to you by Broadmoor at Heartwood Preserve. Betcher plays it into Thomas. Diaz getting his first looks on the ball. Takes a tug from Nieto. Play will go on. And he's tripped up there. And the first yellow card of the game will be issued. Emerson Nieto, after being a bit physical a moment ago, will now officially go into the book. Nothing but player there, no ball found. Betcher trying to nod that one forward for himself. Good pressure here. Thomas lets it fly. Parried down and then knocked away. A lot of force on that shot. Jack Thomas has already proven that when he gives it a go from the top of the 18, it is not easy to handle. Hernandez out to Oyatunde. This one slid forward. Now Smith, ripping it inside. Betcher got a piece of it, but couldn't redirect it on goal. Smith tracking back and don't commit the foul, and although he was hoping to approach it cleanly, a foul there, certainly not the end of the world, especially since he didn't get booked for it. Gavilanes slow to get up after the fact. So this is a situation Omaha prefers to be in here, up 2-0 after finding themselves down in several games recently. Naples against Knoxville. Anderson Holt tied the game late against New York Cosmos to make it 1-1, and then they scored at the death. Campus Tequila. Also went down against Portland Hearts of Pine by 2 goals. They came back to get a draw in that one. So certainly a side that has overcome some bad situations. Speaks to the connectivity of this team, Union Omaha, and Vincenzo Candela said that we believe that if we stay true to ourselves, we can call back in any game where we're down a goal or two. And he said, well, I guess we also like to provide some entertainment in the process, though he'd rather put the game away early. So he did acknowledge that the style of play they like to approach these games with, the amount of possession they have, the constant making the other team chase them around, is going to wear out opponents, which means that maybe more opportunities present themselves in the later stages of matches. So part of the formula, maybe just in the mixing of what they do, and that gives them a little bit of an edge when it comes to those dramatic games where they need to flip the script. But if you don't have a script to flip in the first place, then you're feeling even better. Hernandez trying to connect with Oyatunde. Cameron Lawrence takes a tug after winning the ball back, and that will be a yellow card. Another player for Fort Wayne. That's the second booking in this match for the visitors. Anthony Hernandez with his first yellow card in this competition, his second across comps. After a month of May, which was almost entirely spent at home for Fort Wayne, they now also have a bit of a road trek here. This is the first of 4 games on the road. It's a particularly strange schedule where they have a weekend into a midweek game on 2 separate occasions. Well, first is weekend into midweek, and then they have a midweek into weekend turnaround. So both times they'll have to almost think about 2 games at once when it comes to their approach of how they'll attack the matches. They have Westchester on Wednesday after this. Of course, they started the season well on the road while they waited for Ralph Morgan Stadium to be at a state where it was ready to host fans and have a match be played. They've gotten much more experienced with the traveling process now, which is always such an undertaking to learn when you're playing American soccer. Mike Avery mentioning that also now it's the summer, so you have to be prepared for higher chances of delays. You just need to get into Zen travel mode and roll with the punches and not let anything really rattle you. But of course, that's easier said than done. Smith looking for someone to throw this ball in. This one won by the Owls. Patello Foz to Gavilanes. Alan Gavilanes back over to the channel where he's being guarded tightly by Reed Sproat. Owusu bringing it over to Lawrence. Has it dashed away by Jack Thomas. Now Oyatunde with a lot of real estate. Finds Thomas. Thomas lets it fly! Not on frame. Boy, does he like that shot at the top of the 18. He's going to try his luck there, Jack Thomas. Englishman who played NAIA at LSU Shreveport. He was the NAIA Player of the Year. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Thomas, a guy who had 20 goals and 12 assists in 22 games last season. So if there's ever a way to turn some heads at the professional level to a guy who's playing at NAIA, that's certainly a stat line to do it. Jaden Smith rolling it into the middle. Owusu able to keep it in bounds. Some pressure from Betcher. A little too much of that, so it will be a free kick for the Owls deep within their own territory. Betcher again playing against the team that he spent some time on loan with last season. 8 goals, 3 assists with the Owls. USL League One play. Fun time for people all ages here in Morrison Stadium. Cole Jensen will get this one started. One of the 2 goalkeepers that have been clear option for Union Omaha this season. Him and, of course, the longtime man Rashid Nuhu have gotten looks. Here's Gavilanes. Trying to send it forward. Now Garay, the outside of his boot, able to connect with Betcher up the pitch. Over by Owusu, who tries to help Betcher get back up on his feet. I'm not sure how helpful he actually was. Hernandez running that one forward. Now here's Oyatunde. Daniel Oyatunde running behind. Oyatunde picks out the right side and scores for Fort Wayne. The youngster with his first for the club. He was one of the guys with a chance to prove himself today, and now he's done just that. I mean, that is a quality finish from Daniel Oyatunde. A player described as quick and tricky, who can glide past defenders, and well, all of that on display right there. The 19-year-old Daniel Oyatunde with his first goal with Fort Wayne. Wanted to give him the chance to get to run a little bit, learn from valuable minutes and play the game, and he's done that, as Gafar has to poke that into the corner to try to keep it alive. Ball stolen away. Now the Owls will push in the other direction. Gutierrez. Some dangerous options in front of him. Lofts it over to Gomez. And the offside flag goes up. Holding that one dead in its tracks. Players chomping at the bit to get out there and play for Fort Wayne. Oyatunde, one of those guys, showing some of that hunger. Ari Echevarria will get things started once again here for Fort Wayne. Holding his hand to his head, which is going to warrant a quick whistle once the referee notices it. Always got to be careful about head contact. Really nothing there foul-wise. Of course, that's not what was called. It's just a stoppage of play for the safety of the player. Backing into Ryan Betcher and just catching him. Bit of bad luck for the holding midfielder, Gabriel Cabral, who is such a quality cog in this Union Omaha machine. Betcher gives the man a pat, even if there was no harm intended. A good my bad or just good stuff can help ease any sort of tension that could have potentially grown from that little interaction there. So it'll be a drop ball. Fort Wayne will keep possession as we approach the 45-minute mark. Probably have at least a substantial amount of minutes added on here. First half of action. 3 goals and a couple of other stoppages. Well done there by Jaden Smith. And now here's Kabiru Ghaffar. Flag stays down. Ghaffar squares it across. Betcher ties this game. He used to wear the Omaha shirt, and now he's their biggest enemy. We are back on level terms here in Morrison Stadium. Well done by Kabiru Ghaffar. Neatly placing it across, and Ryan Betcher in his return to the starting lineup finishes the job. It was such a positive start to this game for UD Omaha, but Fort Wayne were not going to let this one go easy. This is just the kind of game you were hoping for if you saw these two teams lined up against each other on the schedule. Two teams that play expansive ball, not afraid to take some risks. And lo and behold, a 4-goal first half. We still have time for maybe some more drama to unfold here. See the 4 minutes that were tacked on. Diego Gutierrez, who scored from a free kick last week against FC Naples. Looking to recreate some of that here unsuccessfully. Cabral will rip this one back to Cole Jensen. See Cabral back up and looking fresh and fit after taking a knock to the head. Lawrence. Let that one glance off the boots of Jack Thomas, though came right back to his lap. There was 2 to 3 minutes that separated the 2 goals for Union Omaha, and then 4 to 5 minutes separating the 2 goals for Fort Wayne as this one curled in. We have about 1 more minute to go here in the first half. Chavari up. waving to his guys to go up ahead. Not afraid to build from a goal kick. Oh, this one may just get launched into the opposition half with just moments to go in the first 45 minutes. And that's exactly what it is. Well, a dramatic first half of action. 2 goals apiece between the Owls and Fort Wayne. It's Union Omaha who have more to lose in this game to Fort Wayne, and they had the 2-0 lead before goals from Daniel Oyatunde and Ryan Betcher leveled this one back up again. Still a lot to be discovered in the second 45 minutes of action. Which of these teams, if either, will take the reins on this one and see all 3 points? Well, there's certainly much to be engaged for, including our halftime content that's coming up next on ESPN+. 2-2 your scoreline after 45 minutes between the Owls and Fort Wayne in their first ever meeting. We're going to step aside for a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Prinx Tires USL Cup in its entirety. We will see you then. Back here at Morrison Stadium, where it's a tie ball game between Fort Wayne and Union Omaha. 2-2, your scoreline. Mark Schoenster with you here on ESPN+. This is a match in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. So let's learn about the format here in case those of you who are watching for the first time need an understanding of what encompasses this competition. Let's go check it out.
Hartford Athletic and Louisville City were tied with 9 points. The first tiebreaker, total goals. Hartford scored 9, Louisville had 8. And that wild card spot launched Hartford's run to the USL Cup title. This year's Cup promises even more drama. 42 clubs in the USL Championship and League One will form 7 groups filled out by region. Each club will play 4 group matches, and when the dust settles, the 7 group winners will advance along with 1 wildcard team, not 2 wildcards like last year. The remaining 8 clubs will be drawn into 4 quarterfinal matches with 1 stipulation. The wildcard cannot be drawn against its group winner. The 4 quarterfinal winners will then be drawn for the semifinal round, with the 2 finalists drawn to determine the host for the Prinx Tires USL Cup final.
This week on USL All Access, the 19-year-old rookie for Charleston Battery, Colton Swan, joins the show.
Just one of 3 players called outside of the MLS pyramid, and only 2 from USL Championship play. Why has his star been on the rise recently for the Charleston Battery? And what's next for the U.S. Youth National Team player? Prinx Tires Cup. Back this weekend, what group do you have to keep an eye on?
It is halftime in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. The drama is building in all groups. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines from League One and the championship. The lone unbeaten club in both leagues is putting up dominant numbers in a 2026 turnaround. The Tampa Bay Rowdies have scored first in all 13 of their matches in all competitions this year. But if you break it down to just 11 games in the championship, the Rowdies have outshot their opponents 50-28 so far. Congratulations to Greenville Triumph for opening the latest of the new stadiums in League One. The Triumphs began play in GE Vernova Park with a win over Forward Madison. League One now boasts 3 brand new stadiums in 2026. Young players are starting to earn more and more playing time in League One and the USL Championship. How about Santiago Higuereta from AV Alta? He scored his first professional goal in Week 12. At age 17 years, 249 days old, Higuereta is the youngest goal scorer in AV Alta history, and he beats out Vigo Ortiz of Charlotte Independence by 43 days for the League One youngest player to score this season. Upcoming national spotlight games next Wednesday, the Rowdies and Charleston Battery, Forward Madison and Fort Wayne on the 17th, and Las Vegas and Orange County on the CBS Sports Network. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
Back here to give you some score updates from other games in the USL Cup competition. Mark Schoenster with you here on the broadcast. Detroit City FC and Lexington, an important game to note, along with Indy 11 and Forward Madison, because those are two games that are also within this group with Union Omaha and Fort Wayne. Detroit City FC and Lexington in particular, important for the Owls, because those are two teams that can still get ahead of Union Omaha in this competition. Meanwhile, Indy 11, they also currently sit above the Owls given the standing results, but Union Omaha have the win over them and have the ability to stay ahead of them in this competition. As we look at the other page and some of the other matches that are coming later tonight, look at that battle for paradise. Sarasota looking to get their first win ever against their rivals along the west coast of Florida, FC Naples. Meanwhile, Rhode Island looking pretty good right now, 2-0 against Westchester. And then Tulsa and San Antonio, it's always a slugfest whenever those two go at it against each other. As we look at what else could be coming your way for the rest of this evening, a lot of great games. Spokane and Athletic Club Boise, obviously you League One fans should be familiar. Two good teams in this competition and both trying to vie for their chances in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. That's where my eyes will be focused. But also, you've got to love when a League One team and a championship team clash. AV Alta, Orange County, late tonight, will be doing battle from Lancaster. So a lot of good things to be excited for the rest of this Saturday as we get excited once again for what's coming in this second half. Union Omaha, Fort Wayne, who will be the victor? We'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll have the highlights, the stats, in the second half kick here on ESPN+.
The Threads of Hope kit is more than a jersey. Designed for cancer awareness as a whole, this kit honors every story, every fight, and every moment of resilience. Cancer doesn't belong to one color, one ribbon, or one person. It's a shared battle carried by millions. These kits reflect that collective strength. The field players wear purple, representing strength, dignity, and the universal fight against cancer. The goalkeeper stands apart in pink, a color of compassion and care, symbolizing the role of protection, support, and those who stand on the front lines defending others through their journey. At the heart of the design is the iris flower, a symbol long associated with hope, courage, and wisdom. Irises are known for their ability to bloom boldly and beautifully, even in the harshest conditions. In that way, they mirror the journey of those impacted by cancer, enduring, resilient, and unwavering. Together, these threads weave a story of perseverance, of communities rallying, of families standing strong, and of individuals who continue to rise again and again. Because hope isn't just something we feel, it's something we carry.
Prinx Tires is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Prinx Tires USL Cup. Built for practical performance and the long haul, Prinx delivers reliability for everyday drivers like you. Visit PrinxTireUSA.com to learn more. Let's take a look at the first half highlights, and, well, there are quite a few to look at here. Starting off with Union Omaha. 2 goals in the span of about 3 minutes. Pato Botello Foz riding this one by the goalkeeper. Nice feed, an interception from Alan Gavilanes, the loanee from Indy 11. And then it'll be Gavilanes on the other side, receiving the lovely pass from Aaron Gomez. able to put that one home. Debuted in their last cup match against Lou City. Now much more well integrated with the side now, as his goal and assist stat line would suggest. But the visitors with some answers. Daniel Oyatunde, first pro goal. Able to rip that one to the right-hand side. A striker's finish. Getting it by the goalkeeper, Cole Jensen. And then just a couple minutes later, Kabiru Gafar puts it on a plate, and Ryan Betcher, in his return to Omaha, puts it away and makes it 2-2 between these two teams. As far as the stat lines are concerned, game that's been pretty even split. The visitors with 52% possession. The Owls leading, though, with 7 shots to 5, though both teams with 3 shots on target each. So really pretty even affair after it looked like maybe it would be lopsided in favor of the Owls in the early goings. If you're someone who subscribes to XG, the Owls have the edge, 0.64 to 0.39. So both teams doing well with the opportunities that fell in front of them, being clinical when the moments mattered. You see Lawrence Wotton in that huddle there for Union Omaha. He's subbed in for Pato Botello-Faz, so one of the goal scorers in the game. Made his way off the pitch, and then a planned substitution for Fort Wayne on the other side of things. Ryan Betcher, only good for 45 minutes, but he maximized those 45 minutes by scoring in the last moments of the first half to make it 2-2. He will go out, and Clarence Salvador will sub in. We'll see if he'll plug up top or if there will be some switching around of positions as we get the second half started here. 2-2, your scoreline between Union Omaha and Fort Wayne in their first ever collision. Gutierrez will lift it out. So let's see how it shapes up on the attacking end for Fort Wayne with that substitution as we now get them confirmed. Brought to you by Broadmoor Heartwood Preserve. Gavilanes. Is that one jarred free for an Omaha throw? Well, the objective in the broad strokes of this game was to not get behind early for Union Omaha, and well, they did that. Got a 2-goal lead in the first 20 minutes of action. Now they've seen that lead evaporate. And once again, they find themselves in a dramatic affair. Of course, there's still about 45 more minutes to go where the tenor of this game can change dramatically in favor or against either of these teams. So, even though it's 2-2 now, if you back a couple goals here in the second half for either team, then can change what the narrative is at the final whistle. They're going to get a long throw in here. Jack Thomas will try to rip this one into the box for all these players to receive for Fort Wayne. Nieto lifts it back up. Solis is offside. It is a lovely evening to be playing or watching the sport here for Union Omaha. 80 degrees with a little bit of wind. Can't do too much complaining there as this one is tapped out of play. It's against Cole Jensen getting the start here for Union Omaha. The reps have been pretty split evenly between him and Rashid Nuhu, the longtime Owl. And Genzo Candela telling me that it's been so even, and both have been just wonderful when they've gotten the opportunity. Rashid Nuhu did start in that last game against Lou City, a game where they conceded 5 goals, and Candela was very quick to say that Nuhu made some big saves in that match, and it was the team that was just too asleep in that affair. Thomas ends into the clutches of Kabiru Gafar. Nieto will let it roll back. Garay will roll it over to Hernandez. This one out wide. Hernandez keeps it in bounds and all the way back to Arya Chavarria. Garay will roll it over to Reed Sproat, making his 60th appearance for Fort Wayne, which is the most of any player in the history of the club. Hitting another one of those milestones. Donning the captain's armband here this evening as well. Thomas. For Far at the top. Maybe the guy who is getting the chance to play the point of the attack now for Fort Wayne. Of course, throughout the season, it's mainly been Lilian Ricol as the offside flag pops up for Gutierrez. I haven't had a ton of time to see exactly whom Mike Avery and company might like at that number 9 spot outside of Lilian Ricol for a lot of this season. Betcher, of course, being unavailable for a large stretch of this season, getting the chance to play here as this one's won back. Gomez, it's tied up with the goalkeeper. How often do you see something like that? Gavilanes rolls wide. What a strange occurrence right at the top of the 18. Gomez tied up there. Between him and Arya Chavarria, the goalkeeper. A weird tangle with the goalkeeper well off his line. Fort Wayne team not afraid to build out from the back. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Good defensive work from Cameron Lawrence. This one's rolled up ahead. Gavilanes. Tapping in. Tried to feed it centrally. Fort Wayne might try to stretch in the other direction. Awudor opts to not take that option and instead will settle things down for his team. So this is a game where players for Fort Wayne are getting the chance to get some more minutes and prove themselves. But one thing that's been pretty true throughout this season so far for the team is that they have had to make tweaks to the starting lineup throughout the season due to guys going out, and they've been some pretty important players too that have picked up knocks. Looking at Orion Betcher or currently a Javier Armas. This one rolled up along the touchline. Zoya Tunde. Early on in the season, they had some issues as far as visas to some of their players, and so they're asking guys to play in spots that maybe are not as comfortable. This one's sent in. Jaden Smith with the service, and it goes out for a corner kick. And even in games, making substitutions in the second half, one thing that has been pretty consistent is that the guys who have been asked to step up have, and there hasn't been a ton of drop-off between the starters and the guys on the bench. And well, we've seen quite a bit of quality in this game as well from players who haven't played as many minutes this season for Mike Avery's side. So the pattern continues, even with a ton of rotation. From the right corner flag, Fort Wayne looking to take the lead for the first time in this game. Solis back into the mixer. A chopping service, and shot, I should say. Takes another glance, out for a corner kick. Anthony Hernandez going nearly horizontal to take that one. Spro and Solis, the two center backs, each trying to get onto that one, neither truly successful in their attempt. Throughout the season, though, Fort Wayne really haven't had the chance to really have the leader's choice of an 11, given some of the player availability issues. Like Avery saying, no, he's been comfortable with every 11 he's had to trot out there, and the training and the preparation has been held to a good standard. And I think the biggest thing that's great for the team is that they've been able to play out these availability issues without signing anybody. Usually throughout the League One season, teams are going to add someone during the summer or closer to the final stretch, and sometimes it's a signing you have to make out of necessity because you've just dropped too many players at a particular position. You just need someone else to load in and fill in that spot. But if you can avoid doing that, then once you get closer to the end of the season, then you can just make a specialty signing that can really provide a jolt to your team and help facilitate a run in the end stretch of the season. We've seen some teams in years past be really successful when they've been able to do that. Oyatunde launching that one out wide to Jaden Smith. Given away, and now Smith is caught forward. An opportunity for Union Omaha. Gutierrez stepping in. Gomez looking for room to shoot. Blocked away. Wotton back over to Gavilanes. He'll have a go. And Echevarria lunges on top of that one. Moment of positivity there for Union Omaha. So far, they've been on the back burner in this second half. It's coming to the whims of Fort Wayne on the road. The chanting of the fans here. It's Global Goblet Night. Good chance to celebrate players from different parts of the world who play for the club, and of course, a pretty appropriate time to be doing so with the World Cup coming to town in just a couple days. Chatter and the excitement building up for both of these clubs in that regard as Gutierrez trying to go for something pretty flashy there. Possession, Alan Gavilanes getting down and dirty to help his side. As it's rolled back to Gavilanes! Swatted away by Echevarria. Oh, it was nearly perfect for the Owls. Well, things getting a little feisty. They're going to quickly restart. Gomez to Wotton. The challenge into the back heel to Gavilanes. Almost a picture-perfect goal for Union Omaha, but Ari Echevarria had other thoughts in mind. Sergio Ors Navarro nods it up ahead to Gutierrez. Gaffar. Nowhere to go with it. I'll tap it back to Nieto. He's getting more and more poised with the ball at his feet with every passing game. Jaden Smith on his back on the turf. He'll get looked at as we see this challenge from Gavilanes. Turns it forward. Our own Gomez, so good there. And Gavilanes kept his run. He was nearly rewarded for starting the opportunity. The aggressive Jaden Smith down on the turf. Some worries about head contact. So they'll get looked at here. JP Jordan is on the bench, who's usually their answer for the right back position. One of those guys who's had a ton of burn this season, so looking to get him some rest, but he is on the bench, unlike some of those other players who have seen a lot of time this season so far. We'll see what Mike Avery opts to do here. It does appear JP Jordan is getting ready to come on, and perhaps Lilian Ricol as well. So Jaden Smith will see his evening come to a conclusion for JP Jordan, the usual starter at the right back spot. And Lilian Ricol, such a dangerous player. Looking to get back into this game. So in he comes for Jack Thomas. And then in comes Jordan. 30 more minutes to go. Some starters entering the fray for Fort Wayne. Substitutions brought to you by Broadmoor at Heartwood Preserve. This is such an interesting game for Fort Wayne to go into because they do not have really the ability to advance in this competition. So on one end, you get the chance to rotate some players and give them the chance to show what they've got in this game. But this is a first-time meeting against Union Omaha as well. Mike Avery described it as a bit of a free shot at them because you lose this game, then all right, oh well, I mean, it's not like you have to suffer too much competition-wise. Of course, you're trying to go into every game and win it, but the repercussions of a loss are certainly not as significant as a loss in league play at this point. But you get to get a feel for what it's like to play at Morrison Stadium, what it's like to play against an Owls team that has been really tough to beat this season. Meanwhile, the Owls trying to keep their cup hopes alive with 3 points here and some goals to boot. If they can find a third, win the game that way, I think they feel pretty happy with 3 goals and 3 points. Of course, that is the hypothetical. Now, so have to make sure they don't concede anymore here. It's a Fort Wayne team that is pretty dangerous today, even with some of the usual suspects not out there. Owusu rolling it up to Lawrence. Cameron Lawrence still going. Lawrence blocked away by Hernandez. It will be a corner kick here, and it is the first corner kick of the entire game for Union Omaha. And for those who are unfamiliar, these corner kicks are brought to you by Modelo. Reminded by myself and all the fans in attendance here at Morrison Stadium. Before the corner kick is taken, substitutions will be allowed. So Brent Coleman will sub on, along with Kempis Tequila. Coleman will be going on like for Owusu. And Tequila coming on for Gabriel Cabral. So getting more aggressive here, Union Omaha. These substitutions brought to you by Broadmoor at Heartwood Preserve. Recol settles down this clearance. One back by the Owls. Mentioning earlier the approach of the World Cup, and both teams, the chatter starting to build amongst the players and all of their international ties. Vincenzo Candela mentioned he is so excited for the trash talk to start. He said, look, with the guys we have, it is going to be very funny once the chirping gets going. He thinks it'll really kick up once you get to the knockout rounds. I'm sure that'll be the case in many a camp across USL. Nice turn there from Gutierrez. Pass it to Tequila. Shrugged off. And called for the foul there is Tequila. It's Kabiru Gafar proving very strong there. The partial fan's not a fan of the decision. I don't know if there's really anything there for either side. I think play should have just gone on. It's two guys jousting for possession, getting a little physical. I think that's pretty harsh to be a yellow card, especially. Gavilanes shrinking forward. Nice feed. Tequila! He lives for these moments. Kempis Tequila puts the Owls back up front. In front of the Parliament, Tequila gets the party going. Once again, Alan Gavilanes facilitating, getting his third contribution on the goal in this game. And the substitute, Kempis Tequila, moments after maybe harshly given a yellow card, puts himself in the stat sheet in a much more positive light. That goal brought to you by Herdat Sports Bar and Grill. His first goal in this competition, but his sixth goal across all competitions. The German putting his team back in front. Speaking of players being excited for the World Cup, I'm sure he'll be pleased with a 2-1 result for the Germans earlier today against the U.S. men's national team. Here he is again. Leroy Sané and Kai Havertz finding the back of the net in that match in Chicago. Coming off the bench and immediately having an impact. Just one of the things that this Omaha team has been so good at this season is just the adaptability with each individual match, with each individual tweak throughout a match. Pato Patella-Faz mentioned after the previous game against FC Naples that he was really happy with the adjustments the coaching staff made at halftime, but the instructions given by a coach is only half the equation. The players have to then go out and execute it. As Gavilanes cuts it to Sergio Ors Navarro, ripping it in near post, knocked away by Echevarria. Whistle from Gerald Flores as we look at this opportunity cut open by the Owls. That adaptability, though, a key trait in all of these players that the Owls were looking for when assembling this roster between Vincenzo Candela and Jamie Henderson, the sporting director. The character of being coachable was a necessity. And Vincenzo Candela has been proud of how open these players have been to coaching, and they believe in what the staff has been saying, and they're executing it so well that that belief just increases match by match. Sergio Ors Navarro showing off his progress in the weight room there. Kabiru Ghaffar will lay it over to the right-hand side, and JP Jordan will interact with his teammates behind him. There's Clarence Awudor. Rolls it out wide to JP Jordan. Finds Ghaffar. Ghaffar cutting it back, trying to find Awudor. It's Jordan once again, knocked over in the box. Ref wags his finger. He says, absolutely not. Now the flag goes up. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Cole Jensen will get things going again. Big shout out to him, Rashid Nuhu, goalkeeping coach Luke Baxter from Vincenzo Candela. They're all pushing each other, keeping each other engaged. They account for how they're training each week and individual matchups, given the different characteristics of Jensen and Rashid Nuhu, or who starts in a given game. Right now it's really a 1A, 1B situation. Vincenzo Candela says, we believe we have two of the best goalkeepers in the league. So it's a big credit to them and their character for being okay with splitting the reps up to this point in the season. It's a luxury and a headache having to figure out who you're going to start in goal every game, because usually the standard is you want to have that number one guy and you want the rest of the team to know who is going to be there that you're going to count on to make some saves in a game. This one makes its way through. Gavilanes rushing forward. Alan Gavilanes has had himself quite the game. Tapped inside, Gutierrez couldn't get there. JP Jordan slid to the rescue. Another corner kick brought to you by Modelo incoming. It'll be Diego Gutierrez, the Omaha native, looking to rip this one into the box and give Omaha their second two-goal lead of the match. Here it comes. Play will go on. It's Gavilanes again. Tequila, the most recent goal scorer. His pass doesn't go very far, but he will reap the reward of a corner kick. By the way, these corner kicks are brought to you by Modelo. Shout out the energy from the fans in attendance. They really get into that. This one headed off the line nicely. Still 3-2 your scoreline. Gavilanes, 2 assists in this game. Ooh, look at that touch. Couldn't get by the next man though. Nieto shielding the ball. Excuse me. Nicely done. But also well done by Emerson Nieto to insert himself into the situation and get between the striker and the ball. Take some contact, draw the foul. That's that. The Owls have been able to tilt the pitch as this second half has worn along. Gavilanes. Back to Tequila. He'll work his way inside. Sergio Ors Navarro still going. Ors Navarro blocked by Awudor. It'll be a Fort Wayne throw-in. Both these teams with a quick turnaround back to league play on the road after this game. Visitors with a road trip up to Westchester. Meanwhile, it's a big game at Charlotte for Union Omaha. Boy, did the Independents impress over on Wednesday as FC Naples went to Florida and left their mark. That'll be a big game in the context of the league standings as this one's threaded nicely. Recall, look to feed it inside. Awudor was the intended recipient. Ball rolled ahead, not fully dealt with. Gavilanes picks it up. Alan Gavilanes jostling, but bested by Solis. The big center back using his physical advantages to best Gavilanes there. A player who has been deadly in this game. 1 goal, 2 assists. But the big Juan Solis doing well there, utilizing his facilities. Awudor inside to Recall. Recall poking it back. Awudor offside. Big substitution incoming here for Fort Wayne. As James Musa makes his return to the pitch for the team. Substitutions are brought to you by Broadmoor at Hartward Preserve. James Musa, who has been on the injury list for a good while now, makes his way back after missing 10 matches. Another one of those veteran guys who has just not been an option to put out onto the field for Mike Avery. And has really asked some of these younger players to really learn trial by fire. In many ways, it's been Burnt Shipment and then a bunch of guys who have never played League One before, figuring it out as they play. Worth noting, James Musa hasn't played in League One either until this season, of course, but has over 230 USL Championship appearances, which I'm sure translates just fine to USL League One. So a player that they will be happy to be getting back, him and Ryan Betcher returning after long stints away, sort of acting as pseudo coaches from the bench. But isn't it nicer when you can get a guy who's kind of like a coach out on the field playing? Union Omaha with the 3-2 advantage. Trying to stay alive in the USL Cup race. Ball sent inside, Gavilanes! The offside flag goes up. It's a nice little clipped finish from Alan Gavilanes, but it's not going to count. A moment where Union Omaha may have thought that this one was all pot lucked up. But it'll stay a 1-goal difference. Oyatunde. Rolling it back to James Musa. Ball rolled over to Reed Sproat. All right, let's take a look at that. The goal that wasn't to be here for Union Omaha. I mean, yeah, he looks like he may have been offside. Obviously, we didn't see him in the frame at the time of the pass, but I'm not sure if Alan Gavilanes, can move that quickly. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. A lot of national games for the USL Championship, but also USL League One will be getting some love here soon, including Fort Wayne making their national debut against Forward Madison in not too long a time. ESPN 2. That's pretty cool. Cameron Lawrence launches this one back up the pitch as Awudor tried to fly and nod that ball towards Lilian Rico. This one will bounce heartlessly to the goalkeeper. And a strong second half for Union Omaha after it was an early spell of positivity for Fort Wayne after the whistle. Mentioned earlier the adaptability of this Owls roster and how open all the players have been, and a lot of kudos can be given to the roster construction, which was done by Vincenzo Candela and Jamie Henderson, who were both very complimentary of each other. And I think the big thing, having talked to each of them, is, well, they each said that they see each other eye to eye, and well, I can certainly confirm it with the things they were saying about what they were looking for in players, because it pretty much verbally matched up perfectly. They want the same style of person. As this one's nodded forward. Gutierrez breaking out the scissors. Still going. Rolls it to Gavilanes. Alan Gavilanes. Back up to Tequila. Exchange there, just not quite executed nicely. Recall, turning. It's back in centrally. This one rolled over to Daniel Oyatunde. Scored the first goal of his professional career earlier today. Watton fighting for the ball. Helps his team win possession for just a moment. It's reclaimed by Fort Wayne. James Musa rolling it up the field. He's trying to find Awudor. Gavilanes will run. Musa's in front of him. Not the guy who's been defending him for the majority of this match. Jiba slides it forward. Gomez into the middle for Tequila. Icing on the cake for Union Omaha. A second assist for Aaron Gomez and a second goal for Kempis Tequila. Well done here from Union Omaha. Alan Gavilanes starts with the switch to Jiba. He drives forward, finds Gomez, who so aptly rolls it so tantalizingly in front of an open goal after the keeper engaged. And a brace for the German striker, Kempis Tequila. Makes it 4-2. And makes it another goal brought to you by Herdat Sports Bar and Grill. And this night has now pretty much added up to what the Owls were hoping for, which was they want to get all 3 points and they wanted to accrue a lot of goals. Mission accomplished on the latter of the two. Now they just have to see this one to the finish line with 5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And after the goal was scored, actually pretty momentous moment for Fort Wayne on the other side of things, as this substitution is brought to you by Broadmoor and Heartwood Preserve. Oyatunde comes out, and in comes Nico Burns. His professional debut at 17 years and 290 days old. Although, of course, this is their first year as a professional club. That is the youngest pro debut in Fort Wayne soccer history. So big congratulations to Nico Burns for making his way into this match, one of the academy kids on this roster. So certainly the experience is the thing to glean from this game for Fort Wayne, but it's Union Omaha that will be the more happy with what they've accomplished in this game. Coleman nods it ahead. Tequila ripping it up the pitch. And rushing forward once again is Gavilanes. Infinite battery, this kid. Gavilanes, so nicely played to Gutierrez. Trying to put it up top for Gomez. Interrupted by Reed Sproat. Four to 2 your scoreline. This will put Union Omaha at 6 points in the group, which will tie them with Lou City for first place as it stands right now. And then from there, they would be behind Lou City, of course, by a game in hand, first off, because Lou City still has to play their third match. But also Lou City with 8 goals scored to Union Omaha's 7 currently. but the window stays open. And it's going to be a foul for Fort Wayne, and perhaps another chance in a set-piece spot. Also a pretty important acknowledgement in another game that took place in this group. It was 1-0 Detroit City FC in the 93rd minute when we checked in at halftime. Lateef Blessing scored an equalizer late for Lexington to make it a 1-1 draw, in which they then won in penalties. So now it's 5 points Lexington, 5 points Indy 11, 4 points Detroit City, with Omaha and Lou City currently sitting at 6 points each at the top of the largest group in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. And they're looking to tag in another goal here. It's Tequila and Gutierrez. Do you trust the man who scored from a free kick last week or the guy who's got a brace in this game? Who will take it? Gutierrez punched up. It'll spin away. Garay tracks it down. Here's Nico Burns, the youngster. Donning the mask, having to adjust it mid-run. Takes a professional challenge there. Jiba rolls it to his left. Gutierrez sliding it in the middle. A needed intervention to prevent a fifth goal. The Owls have been on the prowl. Three more minutes will be tacked on here as the home side are looking to do everything they can to increase their odds of advancing. Worth acknowledging, it's not just the group winner that makes it through as Jamie Orson prepares to sub into the match. There's also one team landing second place that will make it out of their group. That is a lot of competition you have to vie with, as this one is kept in bounds. We'll see if Orson actually gets the chance to sub into this match. Jensen on the lunge to keep that out of harm's way. Orson will sub into this match. So Orson getting another start here. He'll step on for Ryan Jiba. The substitution brought to you by Broadmoor at Heartwood Preserve. Tequila working his way forward, playing it in the middle. Gomez trying to hunt for one more goal here, 1 more minute to go. Gavilanes knotted down by Solis, and out for one more corner kick here. Corner kick brought to you by Modelo. And they make it 5, which would tie them with Lou City in goals forced in the group and would put them high in that category across the competition as well. Tequila chests down. Has it back out wide. Gavilanes with the service. And out it goes. Could be the last moment we really see in this match. both teams will see this one to a conclusion and then very quickly turn their attention to matches on the road on Wednesday. Another variable that both coaches had to account for going into this match and throughout. And there is your final whistle. The Owls needed goals, they needed 3 points, and they claimed both of them in this first ever meeting between Union Omaha and Fort Wayne. Their hopes still alive in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. A 4-2 victory. An impressive second half where they were oppressive. Let's take a look at our man of the match presented by Platinum Chiropractic and Wellness, and it's going to be Alan Gavilanes, and I think that shouldn't be too much of a surprise. A player that was so heavily involved offensively throughout the game, scored a goal, racked up 2 assists as well, and was dangerous in many other moments that could have ended up in scoring chances for Union Omaha. Tequila with a brace in the game as well certainly wouldn't have been a bad shout either. But that is who we end up giving it to, is number 77, the loanee from Indy 11. With that in mind, we'll step aside briefly. When we come back, we will have our post-game content here on ESPN+. 4-2, your final score, Union Omaha with the victory. Full-time scores brought to you by the Blackstone District. Union Omaha with 4 goals and 3 points to help their chances in the Prinx Tires USL Cup. So 1 more game to go in the competition, and they are still within the conversation. Mark Schuster with you here on ESPN+. Let's take a look at the full-time highlights brought to you by Family Fare. Hato Botello-Foz starts the scoring here. Able to notch it home in the 15th minute. And it's a brilliant start for Union Omaha that gets even more brilliant when Alan Gavilanes, who scored or supplied the assist on the first goal, scores the second goal to make it 2-0. Able to slide this one by and make it a game that looked like was going to go all in favor of Union Omaha until Fort Wayne started playing antagonist. Daniel Oyatunde, the youngster, hitting his first professional goal, makes it 2-1, and then they would find another just moments later from Ryan Betcher making his return to the starting lineup. Was only 45 minutes fit, but he's really more 46 minutes fit because he scores a goal in stoppage time in the first half of action to make it 2-2, and raising eyebrows on what the result in this game might be. But in the second half, Union Omaha, after withstanding maybe a chance or two to start the half, really took the reins and had all of control in the second half and are able to find the go-ahead goal there from Kempis Tequila. And then he would get a second here, courtesy of Aaron Gomez after some nice build-up, making it 4-2. That would end up being your final score as We now get a peek at those full-time stats, just to give you a perspective on how the second half looked. 13 shots to 2, 7 shots on target to 0. XG in the second half was 2.04 to 0.16, so really dominant from Union Omaha in the second 45. They were the ones with more to lose in this game, and they showed more of that drive and that intensity that they needed to have in order to get this result, and boy, did they grab it. Their next game in the competition will be July 11th at Fort Madison. It'll be the same day at home against Detroit City for Fort Wayne FC. Both these sides will be quickly turning around on Wednesday back in league play, but this is where our broadcast will end. For our entire broadcasting crew, I'm Mark Schoenster. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We certainly enjoyed the drama in the game, but we hope you have a fantastic rest of your night and a good weekend on ESPN Plus. Your final score, 4-2 in favor of Union Omaha.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.